Friends, am I audible now? Friends, am I audible now? Yes, yes, thank you, thank you. Okay. Friends, in today's session, we are going to know about the important concepts. These concepts are related to offenses relating to the property, friends. Offenses against the property. The theft, extortion, robbery, and dacoity are the important concepts under Indian Penal Code. These will cover section 378 to 402 of IPC, friends. Now let us see various concepts of these. There are 11 offenses under Indian Penal Code. These are dealing with offenses against property. Okay, these are the offenses against property. Sections 378 to 462 of IPC or dealing with offenses against property. However, in this class, we are going to know about theft, extortion, robbery, and dacoity. Sections 378 to 382 are dealing with the concept of theft, friends. Thereafter, sections 383 to 389 of IPC are dealing with the offense of extortion. Whereas sections 390, okay, 392 to 394 and 401 of IPC are dealing with robbery, friends. Sections 391, 395, 396, 399, 400 and 402. These sections are exclusively dealing with the concept of dacoity. Okay, friends. In this class, we are going to know about these 4 kinds of offenses and differences in between these 4 offenses. Okay. Now let us see the next one. The first one, theft. Okay. The first one is theft. As we know, sections 378 to 382 of IPC are dealing with theft. Okay, these are exclusively dealing with the theft, friends. Now let us see the ingredients of theft. Okay, now let us see the ingredients of theft. If we see the ingredients of theft, friends, these are the essential ingredients. The first one and the foremost one is there must be some movable property. there must be some movable property. Thereafter, the second ingredient is out of possession of any person. Out of possession of any person. Thereafter, the third ingredient is that dishonest intention. Dishonest intention. Okay. The fourth ingredient, the fourth essential ingredient is without consent. Okay. The fifth ingredient is moves that property. Okay. Movement of that property. These are the 5 ingredients, friends. Now let us see. Let us see the ingredients of theft. Friends, theft is an offense against the movable property. Not it is an offense against immovable property. Friends, it is an offense against movable property only. Movable property is a property which can be moved from one place to another place without any serious human effort. Here, the immovable property cannot be moved from one place to another place, whereas the movable property, in the sense, it is a property which can be moved from one place to another place. Here, if we observe the illustrations given under section 378 of IPC, we can find that what the movable property is. In number of cases, the apex court of our country has been given some clarity regarding what is movable property. Okay, now let us see the concept of movable property here. Now this one, the concept of movable. Theft is an offense against property, but exclusively this one is related to offense against movable property, against this one only, movable property. Now let us see various concepts. Here, theft of salt, theft of stones, okay, theft of clay, whereas sand come under the purview of movable property. It come under the purview of movable property. Whereas in some other cases, okay, there is a tree, okay, here there is a tree, this is a tree. Whenever it was severed from the earth, whenever it was severed from the earth, then it becomes, this tree becomes movable property. Therefore, a tree severed from the earth becomes movable property as under section 378 of Indian Penal Code. Okay. Thereafter, friends, a cooking gas is also movable property. Water passing through pipelines, okay, water passing through a pipeline, okay, is also come under the purview of movable property. Thereafter, temples, idols from the temple, okay, idols related to a temple come under the purview of movable property. Okay, it come under the purview of movable property. Thereafter, all kinds of animals or come under the purview of movable property. They are also treated as movable property, friends. Thereafter, the human body is not come under the purview of is not under the purview of theft. Okay. Thereafter, one more thing we need to remember here, theft of electricity. Theft of electricity is not come under the purview of movable property, friends. It come under the purview of section 135 of Electricity Act. Okay, Electricity Act 2003. It does not come under the purview of IP theft. Okay, it is not theft. It did not come under the purview of theft. Therefore, in one more cases, the mummified bodies or dead bodies preserved for scientific examination. Okay. Scientific examination by universities or medical colleges come under the purview of theft, friends. It also come under the purview of theft. Therefore, in order to constitute the concept of theft, there must be a movable property. It must be taken out of the possession of its lawful owner or from the person who is lawfully possessed such property. That taking out of the possession of the movable property by the offender must be with dishonest intention, with a malified intention. Such taking out of the possession of such movable property from its truthful owner or from the person who is lawfully possessed of it must be without his consent. If without his consent a movable property has been taken out of the possession of such person with a dishonest intention, it amounts to theft, friends. Here, whenever a movement is taken place with regard to that movable property, thereafter it becomes a theft. Even a concealment of that one, taking the same into his own house, into the accused's own house, is not at all necessary. Whenever he moves a particular movable property, without the consent of its lawful possessor, with a dishonest intention, out of the possession of that lawful possessor, it becomes theft, friends. Now, these all are well discussed, whether these are the movable properties or not, these are the movable properties or not. Okay. Now, let us see the second ingredient. Out of possession of any person. Okay. Out of possession of any person with a dishonest intention. Now let us see these two ingredients. The second ingredient is out of possession. Out of possession of any person. The third ingredient is with dishonest intention. Now let us see these two ingredients here. Okay. Friends, dishonest intention, that is the malified intention, malified intention is one of the essential ingredients. It shows the dishonest intention. If a person dishonestly moves the movable property of another person out of his possession without consent, amounts to theft, friends. According to section 378, of Indian Penal Code, it amounts to malified intention. It amounts to a theft, friends. Now, when a person takes another person's property, here it is movable property, friends. Another person's movable property, believing under either mistake of fact, okay, or ignorance of law, is not guilty under theft, friends. Is not guilty because there is no dishonest intention. Okay. If a person takes the defense of mistake of fact or ignorance of law, then if a person is charged under the offense of theft, if he takes the defense of mistake of fact or ignorance of law, thereafter the burden of proof lies upon him. This is the important concept, friends. Whenever he takes the defense of mistake of fact or ignorance of law, then the burden of proof to prove that there is no guilty intention, I have taken away the movable property of another person by mistake of fact or ignorance of law. If he takes this kind of plea, then the burden of proof entirely lies upon him. It is the one of the important point we need to make it. Okay, we need to note it. Okay. Thereafter, friends, when the accused has a right to take it, right, then is not guilty. There is no dishonest intention. For instance, Mr. A and B are the friends. Mr. A without dishonest intention has taken away a book from B's library with an intention to return it after reading it or after referring certain important points or after closure of his examination. Okay, after completion of his examination. Here it shows there is no guilty intention, there is no dishonest intention in the mind of Mr. A, who has taken away the book of Mr. B from Mr. B's library without the consent of Mr. B's library. Therefore, it shows that there is no guilty intention in the mind of Mr. A. Under these circumstances, there is no malified intention, friends. If he takes the plea, he has to prove that he has no guiltiness in his mind, whenever he takes that plea, then burden of proof lies upon him, then it cannot be come under the purview of theft. Thereafter, in the certain occasion, Mr. A and B have jointly purchased a movable property, a television set. Mr. A has taken away that movable property. As such, he has a right over the same, even though without the consent of Mr. B. Here his intention is not the guilty intention or malified intention. Under those circumstances, even though he has taken out of the possession of the co-owner, if he has taken the movable property out of the possession of the co-owner, there is no dishonest intention. Therefore, it cannot come under the purview of theft, friends. Okay. Now, this is about the dishonest intention and out of possession of any person. Here, if your property is in the possession of a person's wife, okay, or a person's clerk, or a person's servant, on account of that person, it is in that person's possession within the meaning of section 27 of IPC, friends. Okay. Here, the wife or the clerk is not at all the true owner of a particular property. Now, the property has been taken out from the possession of such person's clerk or such person's servant. Even though even under these circumstances, it is stated that the property is taken out of the possession of the clerk's master, the servant's master. Here, the husband of that wife. Okay, it is also clearly stated as under section 27 of it. Thereafter, friends, we need to consider few important other ingredients. Without consent is also one of the important point here. We need to make. We need to note of it. Without consent is the another ingredient. Without consent. Now let us see what is the meaning of without consent. Friends, the meaning of the consent is as same as under Indian Contract Act. Okay. Indian Contract Act section 10 speaks about the concept of various concepts, various ingredients. Among those, pre-consent is one of the essential ingredients for a contract. Here, if a consent is given without coercion, without undue influence, without fraud, without mistake, it is said to be a free consent, friends. If a person moves a movable property out of the possession of its lawful possessor with a dishonest intention, without his consent, it amounts to theft, according to section 378 of IPC. Now let us see. Let us see the important concepts here. There will be a no theft if there is a consent or authorization. Okay, if there is a consent, if there is a consent to take away such property, to move the property, or there is an authorization from the lawful owner or lawful possessor, okay, then it cannot come under the purview of without consent, friends. And here the consent may be, here this consent may be either express or implied. Okay, either express or implied. Now let us see few illustrations in order to understand the concept of consent under theft. Okay, friends, here Mr. A and B are friends. They are the friends. Okay, Mr. A being on friendly terms with Mr. B, he goes to Mr. B's library. Okay, he goes to Mr. B's library. There is a library, and in absence of Mr. B, Mr. A has taken away a book. Okay, from his library, Mr. A has taken away a book. Here, without the consent of Mr. B. Here there is no express consent from Mr. B, friends. Here the purpose of taking away this book by Mr. A is merely of reading it. And with intention to return it as after reading of it. Here this shows, friends, here there is no malified intention here. Okay, here there is no malified intention. Even though there is without consent, this ingredient is present. However, he has taken away the property. There is a movement of movable property. The second ingredient is also present, but there is no modified intention, friends. Here intention, the intention is not modified. Okay, not dishonest intention. Therefore, it does not amount to theft. It does not amount to theft, friends. Now let us see some other illustration, friends. Let us see some other illustration. Okay. Here, Mr. X has pawned his gold ring to Mr. Y. Okay. Now, not having paid what Mr. X has borrowed on the gold ring, he has taken away, Mr. X has taken away out of possession of Y, Mr. Y, and without the consent of Mr. Y. Okay. Here, not having paid, it is the not having paid. What he has borrowed. Okay. Now, friends, let us see the ingredients. Not having paid what he has borrowed. Mr. X has pawned his gold ring with Mr. Y. Okay, now by pawning his gold ring, by pledging his gold ring, Mr. X has borrowed certain amount from Mr. Y. Here gold ring as kept as a security for the purpose of this borrower. Okay. Now Mr. X has taken away his gold ring, even though it belongs to him. He has taken away the gold ring out of the possession of Mr. Y without the consent of Mr. Y, amounts to theft. It amounts to theft. It amounts to theft. Here, Y is the lawful possessor. Lawful possessor. Is the lawful owner. But he has borrowed certain amount from Mr. Y. Yes, he has borrowed certain amount from Mr. Y by pawning his, by pledging his gold ring. Here, the gold ring is under the possession of Mr. Y. Now, not having paid, without paying what he has borrowed from Mr. Y, Mr. X has taken away this property, this mobile property, out of possession of Mr. Y without the consent of Mr. Y with a modified intention. Therefore, it amounts to theft, friends. Therefore, it amounts to theft. If he has paid, if he has taken out of the possession of Mr. Y with the consent of Mr. Y, then it does not amount to theft, friends. Not having paid what he has borrowed from Mr. Y without the consent of Mr. Y, even though he is the owner of the property, he has taken out of the lawful possessor without his consent, out of his possession, even in his absence, not having paid. This all shows his dishonest intention. Therefore, it amounts to theft, friends. It amounts to theft. Now, let us see some other important ingredients of theft, friends. That is moves that property. Okay, moves that property. Friends, here we need to remember a few important points. Here, the first important point is that the offense of theft is completed when there is a property. Dishonest movement of property. Okay. When the property is dishonestly moved, then theft is completed. The offense of theft is completed, friends. This is the one important. Here, there must be a movement. There must be a movement of the property with intention, with an intention, take it. These are the ingredients as to moves that property. Now let us see few illustrations, friends, in order to understand the concept of theft. Okay, now let us see various illustrations here. First, let us see first ingredient. Here, this is a house belongs to Mr. Q. Okay, this house belongs to Mr. Q. This is the house. Okay, now there is a mobile phone here. There is a mobile phone. Here there is a mobile phone. Mr. P has seen it. Mr. P has seen this mobile phone. Okay, Mr. P sees this mobile phone. This mobile phone belonging to Mr. Q. Okay, this mobile phone belongs to Mr. Q. Now, it was kept in a table. It was kept in a table in the house of Mr. Q. Therefore, Mr. the hiding place, when the loss of the mobile phone is forgotten by Mr. Q. Therefore, whenever the mobile phone has been moved from the table to a secret place within the Q's house with an intention to take it away from the hidden place, when the loss of mobile phone is forgotten by Mr. Q, it amounts to theft, friends. Here, whenever the mobile phone is moved from the table into a secret place, then the offense of theft is completed. Then the offense of theft is completed, friends. Therefore, this is one illustration. It very clearly shows that even though the mobile phone is kept in Q's house, Q is the owner of the house, Q is the owner of the mobile phone. Here, P is a stranger. He went to, even though he has good acquaintance with Mr. Q, he went to Q's house. Then he sees the mobile phone on the table of Mr. Q. Thereafter, from the table, he has moved the mobile phone into a secret place, okay, with an intention to take it from the hiding place when the loss of the mobile phone is forgotten by Mr. Q. Under these circumstances, whenever the mobile phone is moved from the table of Mr. Q into a secret place within the house of Mr. Q, amounts to completion of theft, friends. Whenever the mobile phone is moved from the table, whenever the mobile phone is moved from the table by Mr. P, it amounts to completion of theft. Okay, thereafter let us see some other illustrations here. Okay, some other illustrations here. Mr. R meets a lorry. Here there is a lorry. Okay, this is a lorry. Just assume this is a lorry. The lorry is carrying a box of treasure. Okay, the lorry is carrying a treasure box. Now, Mr. R is driving the lorry in a certain direction. Now he is driving this lorry in this direction. In order that he may dishonestly take the treasure, as soon as the lorry begins to move, here it begins to move. This is the point. This is the point. He has committed the theft, or has committed the theft. Okay, here the lorry is carrying a box of treasure. Mr. R has driven this lorry in a particular direction in order that he may dishonestly take this treasure. Therefore, whenever the lorry begins to move, then Mr. R has committed the theft of treasure. Okay. Thereafter, now let us see some other illustration here. Okay, now Mr. A and B are the friends. They are friends. Mr. A takes, he takes Mr. B's diamond ring of Mr. B. Okay, Mr. A takes the diamond ring of Mr. B out of Mr. B's possession without B's consent, here with an intention of keeping it until, okay, until he obtains money from B as a reward for its restoration. Okay. Here, the intention of Mr. A, here this diamond ring belongs to Mr. B only. A and B are the friends. Mr. A, with the friendly terms with Mr. B, Mr. A has taken away the golden ring of Mr. B out of the possession of Mr. B without the consent of Mr. B, with an intention to keep it until he obtains the money from Mr. B as a reward for restoration. Here it shows his guilty intention. It shows his dishonest intention to obtain the money as a reward. Therefore, it also amounts to theft, friends. It also amounts to theft. Okay. This is about the concept of theft. Now, on the basis of these illustrations, it is completed. Okay, it is completed. It is completed now. On the basis of these ingredients, here, in order to constitute the offense of theft, there must be some movable property. That movable property must be taken away by the accused person out of the possession of the lawful possessor. Here, taking away of such movable property by the accused person must be with malified intention or a dishonest intention. Now, such taking away of the property, the movable property, must be without the consent of the lawful possessor, and he must move the property from out of possession of that property. Whenever there is a movement as to the movable property, then the offense of theft is completed. These are the ingredients, friends, according to section 378 of Indian Penal. Now let us see the second one. The second one, that is extortion. That is the extortion, friend. Okay. The second one is extortion. Now let us see the ingredients of extortion. The first ingredient is putting a person in fear of injury Here, this injury may be related to his bodily injury, or the body to injury to mind, or injury to reputation, okay? Injury to the property. Okay. Then with the dishonest intention, to induce the delivery of any property or valuable security. Okay, friends. Now these three are the ingredients of extortion. Now the accused person is putting a person in the fear of injury. Here the injury may be the bodily injury. That means the accused person puts the another person in the fear of hurt, grievous hurt, or any other bodily injuries, okay, or acid attack, or hurt with the deadly weapons, grievous hurt with the deadly weapons, or any other injuries, friends. Here the accused person puts the another person in the fear of bodily injury, or the accused person puts the another person in the fear of injury in the mind, criminal force. Okay? He may applies the criminal force, or or he may uses the assault, okay? The fear of assault, etc. These are related to the mind, friends. These are the injuries related to the mind. Or the accused person is putting a person in the fear of injury to the reputation of the another person. Okay, now he may put the another person in the fear of making defamatory statements or liable against the another person. Okay, or he may put the another person in the fear of causing some injury to his goodwill, reputation in the society or in the minds of the public. Okay? Or the accused person is putting the another person in the fear of injury to the property of the some other person. By putting a person in the fear of injury with a dishonest intention, with not a good intention, the accused person induces the another person for delivery of any movable property or immobile property or a valuable security. It amounts to extortion, friends. Here under extortion, the concept of consent does not arise. The concept of consent does not arise. Here, the forceful consent, here the consent is, here, if you know the meaning of this word fear, by putting a person in fear, he gets the forceful consent. Here it is not a consent at all, friends. Here consent is not at all an ingredient under extortion. Here, by putting a person in fear of injury to his body, mind, reputation or property with a dishonest intention, he induces the delivery of any movable property or immobile property or valuable security of the another person. Therefore, it amounts to extortion, friends. Therefore, it amounts to extortion. Here, with the consent of the other person, he takes away the mobile or immobile property or valuable security of that person. Here, that consent is obtained by putting such person in fear. In fear, it is the important word. Now, here the property may be mobile or immobile, Now let us see few illustrations, friends, in order to understand the concept of extortion. Now there is under extortion there is a consent, but this consent has been obtained by the accused person from the victim by putting the victim in the fear of injury to his body, mind, reputation or property, or by putting the victim person in the fear of causing causing injury to the body, mind, reputation or property of some other person of the victim. Some other person belongs to the victim. Here, the intention of Mr. Accused, here the accused is the dishonest intention. He must induce the victim or any other person belongs to the victim for delivery of either the movable property or immobile property or the valuable security. It amounts to extortion, friends. Now let us see few illustrations. Okay. Now let us see few important illustrations. Mr. A threatens to publish a defamatory libel concerning Mr. B. Okay, this is concerning or relating to Mr. B, unless B gives him money or valuable security or mobile or immobile property. Thus, Mr. A has induced Mr. B he has induced Mr. B to give him money or other valuable security. This amounts to extortion, friends. Here, the important words we need to remember: induced. This is the important word. Threatens to publish defamatory libel. Friends, if to give him the money, okay, gives him the money. These are the important ingredients. Mr. A is the accused, Mr. B is the victim. Okay. Now, threatens to publish a defamatory libel amounts to fear of injury to the reputation. Okay, fear of injury to the reputation. Now, Mr. A has induced Mr. B. Now he has induced Mr. B to give him money. It shows his dishonest intention, friends. Therefore, it amounts to extortion. Now, let us see some other illustration. Mr. P has threatens Mr. Q that he will keep Q's child or Q's son in wrongful confinement unless Q will sign and deliver a promissory note okay for 10 lakh rupees in favor of Mr. P. Now Q signed and delivered a promissory note to Mr. P. Now friends, if you see the ingredients here, okay, Mr. P threatens Mr. Q. There is a threatening. It shows the fear. It shows the fear, friends. The threatening shows the fear. Mr. P threatens Mr. Q that he will keep Q's son in wrongful confinement. Mr. P will keep Q's son in wrongful confinement. Here, wrongful confinement is an offense related to, it is an injury to the mind, friends. It is an injury to the mind of the human being. Okay. Now, the wrongful confinement of Mr. Q's son, here putting a person in the fear of injury to the body, mind, reputation or property of the victim or any other person, Here, the victim's son is wrongfully confined by Mr. P. Here, he has put a condition that Mr. P has put a condition that Q will sign and deliver a promissory note for 10 lakh rupees. Here, Mr. P has induced delivery of a valuable security. Here, this promissory note is a valuable security. Okay. Accordingly, Mr. Q has signed and delivered the promissory note to Mr. P. Therefore, Mr. P has committed the offense of extortion. Mr. P has committed the offense of extortion, friends. I think you got the point. Now, the next important offense, that is robbery. The next important offense, friends, that is robbery. Now, let us see the ingredients of robbery. Third one, robbery. Friends, there are two parts with relation to the robbery, friends. Okay. When theft becomes robbery, this is one part. Now the second part. When extortion becomes robbery. When extortion becomes robbery, when theft becomes robbery. Now let us see this one. When theft becomes robbery, okay. Theft plus voluntarily causes death, hurt, wrongful restraint, or causes fear of instant death, hurt, or wrongful restraint before or at the time of before the theft or at the time of theft, it amounts to robbery, friends. Here, in order to constitute a robbery, there must be a movable property when the theft becomes robbery. Okay, there must be some movable property. It must be taken out of the possession of the owner with the dishonest intention. Okay, there must be a movement of the movable property. Here, these are the ingredients of the theft. These are the ingredients of theft. Whenever a theft has been committed by the person with along with he voluntarily causes the death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, or the accused person commits the theft and he causes the fear of instant death. He commits the offense of theft and he causes fear of instant death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, then it amounts to robbery, friends. Here, this may be the voluntarily causing death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, or voluntarily, causes the fear of instant death, hurt, or wrongful restraint before the theft or at the time of theft. It amounts to robbery, friends. Now, coming to the extortion. When the extortion becomes robbery, there must be an there must be an extortion, okay, in the presence of the offender, this is the presence of the offender, okay. Presence of offender and causes fear of instant friends. These are the three important associated offenses: instant death, instant hurt, instant wrongful restraint, okay? Or plus immediate delivery of property, okay? Immediate delivery of property or immediate delivery of valuable security. These are the ingredients, friends. These are the ingredients. Now, in order to constitute a robbery, there must be an offense of extortion. Here, that at the time of committing that extortion, the presence of the offender is mandatory in order to constitute the extortion into a robbery. Okay. Now, the offender must cause the fear of instant death or instant hurt or instant restraint to the victim or any other person related to the victim. Thereafter, there must be an immediate delivery of the movable property or immovable property or valuable security. If these ingredients are fulfilled, then the extortion becomes robbery, friends. The extortion becomes robbery. This is about robbery. Therefore, in order to constitute the robbery, these are the ingredients. Let us see these ingredients. There must be a theft. Here there must be a theft, robbery, equal to, there must be a theft plus voluntarily causing instant death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, or causes the fear of, here this is a voluntarily causes death, hurt, or wrongful restraint, or causes fear of instant death, hurt, or wrongful restraint. Okay. Here this may be caused before or at the time of theft, or in order to constitute the robbery, or there must be an extortion plus there must be the presence of the offender plus there must be fear of instant fear, okay, instant fear of death, hurt, or wrongful restraint. It amounts to extortion, friends. It amounts to extortion. Now let us see the concept of dacoity. Okay, the fourth one is dacoity. Friends, whenever a robbery has been committed, by 5 or more persons, it becomes a dacoity, friends. Therefore, whenever a robbery has been committed by 5 or more persons, it becomes dacoity. Thus, friends, in this class we have discussed the concept of theft, extortion, robbery, and dacoity. These are the most important offenses related to. These are the most important offenses related to property, friends. These are the offenses against property. Now, friends, Unacademy is India's largest education platform. It has been providing live lectures and live classes by expert teachers. Okay, friends, you can subscribe Unacademy Judiciary if you want to become a successful judiciary aspirants, if you want to compete with the thousands of aspirants and to stand out from the crowd. Use this code SUBHANLIVE, SUBHANLIVE, in order to get 10% of offer on the subscription amount of Unacademy Judiciary subscription. Friends, the top educators of Unacademy Judiciary have been conducting the free live classes every day in order to boost your preparation for the judiciary services examinations. They have been covering all the subjects. Okay, we have been covering all the subjects: Indian Contract Act, CPC, jurisprudence, criminal procedure code, constitutional law, Hindu law, Muslim law, local laws of your respective states, IPC, Evidence Act, and all other laws also, friends. As per the syllabus, the classes have been conducted. The free classes have also been conducted, friends. Here, Unacademy Learners app is an essential to get all these classes, friends. These are the features of special class features. Okay, here these classes are interactive live classes. Okay, you can attend the live classes, you can participate in the live chat, you can comment you can type your comments in the live session. You can get your doubts, all your doubts during, uh, you can get your doubts clarified during the live session itself. Okay, there are certain options like poll for the learners. Here you can respond for the polls. Okay, you can assess how much you understood in a particular class. Okay, there is an option for raise a hand. You can raise your hand. Even the plus subscribers can directly talk with the educators in the live class, and they can get their doubts resolved in the real time, friends. Here there is an option for notifications. Okay, you will get notified for all the lessons, upcoming courses, all recommendations. Here Unacademy Learners app will send you all the notifications. You never miss any class. You can download the lecture notes, friends. You can download the lecture notes by way of PDF document style. Okay, you can also watch the recorded videos of already available live classes. Okay, you can watch the recorded sessions of live classes. You can revisit the important topics whenever you want to know about a particular topic. Now, if you have any electronic gadget like mobile phone, tablet, PC or laptop, you can watch all the live classes at any time and anywhere. Okay, these live classes can be availed at free of cost if they are special classes, friends. Here if you get the plus subscription access, if you subscribe for Unacademy plus subscription, you will get the plus subscription access. You will get the classes of India's best educators. You will get interactive live classes. You can participate in the live tests. You can also participate in the live quizzes. You will get the structured courses and PDF notes, friends. Okay, these are the offers, friends. If you buy 12 months subscription, you will get 1 month subscription free. If you buy 18 months subscription, you will get 12 months subscription free. If you get 24 months subscription, you will get 4 months subscription free. This offer is ending soon, friends. Okay, the expert a team of Unacademy Judiciary have been conducting the batch courses. These are the batch courses, friends. Okay, these are the batch courses. These are the batch courses. On 7th July, a batch has been started. On 18th July, a batch. On 18th August, a new batch has been started. On 1st September, a batch has been started. On 18th September, recently, a batch has been started. On 8th September, a batch has been started. Very recently, on 22nd September, a new batch has been started for the aspirants of judiciary. Why are you waiting for, friends? Block your calendar now and subscribe to Unacademy Judiciary. From Monday to Friday, in between 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., there will be a T20 mock test series on the core subjects of judiciary, especially on IPC, CRPC, CPC, and Evidence Act. Okay, there will be a mixed bag series on every Friday and every Saturday and Sunday in between 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be a detailed analysis of all the tests. Friends, this is the subscription amount for 1 month, 3 months. This is the subscription amount. If you subscribe for a longer period, you will get lesser amount of subscription amount, friends. Okay, this is the 12 months, 18 months. Okay, this is for 24 months. Okay, you can also use my code SUBHANLIVE SUBHANLIVE in order to get 10% of offer in the subscription amount. Recently, Unacademy Judiciary has announced that from 23rd, that means today, from 23rd 9/2021 onwards, there will be a price hike. Okay, from this date onwards, there will be a price hike. Therefore, utilize this opportunity, friends. Subscribe to Unacademy Judiciary. Okay, subscribe to Unacademy Judiciary YouTube channel. In YouTube channel also, you will get the live classes of judiciary subjects. by India's top educators. You can join Unacademy Judiciary Telegram channel in order to know about all the updates related to Unacademy. Okay, friends. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank